The best thing about animals is that nothing they do ever feels planned. It just happens.
Dogs can run all around, but they can also be gentle, professional babysitters for kittens when needed.
That is the face of a dog who thinks he did a great job.
¡No te dejes, Pancho! ¡Hola, no mames, güey! ¡No mames! ¿Hola? Pancho, ven acá.
Right. Jump in there. Oh, get the ball. Jump back over and bring it back. He's only good for a couple of times. He starts to get tired, but...
When these furballs go looking for their own peace, that's exactly when they bring peace to others. Exactly the moment the dog felt like befriending, such a grumpy furball were completely worth it.
Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, I Thought the Vacuum Cleaner Was a Monster in Quote. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't and oppose. Like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another day with my adorable dog. Bye. Every day with him feels like a brand new adventure, even when we and oppose. Just staying at home. Today started peacefully. The sun was shining through the windows, birds were singing outside, and Bai was enjoying his favorite morning nap on the living room rug. After breakfast, I looked around the house and realized it was cleaning day. Dust had gathered in the corners, and tiny pieces of dog fur decorated nearly every part of the floor. Anyone who owns a fluffy dog knows exactly what I and oppose am talking about. So, I walked into the storage room and pulled out the vacuum cleaner. The moment the wheels rolled across the floor, Bai lifted his head. His ears stood straight up. His eyes became as round as tennis balls. He tilted his head left, then right. He slowly stood up, staring at the strange machine as if it had suddenly walked into our house without permission. I couldn't and oppose. Help laughing. End quote. It and oppose. Okay, Bai, end quote, I said with a smile. He didn't and oppose. Believe me. I pressed the power button. Vroom. The loud humming filled the room. I jumped nearly a foot into the air. End quote. Woof. 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 End quote. He barked with all his might, as though he had just discovered the biggest monster in the world. Instead of running away, Bai bravely placed himself between me and the vacuum cleaner. It looked like he had made an important decision. End quote. I must protect my human. End quote. His little tail puffed up. His tiny paws stomped the floor. He barked again. The vacuum continued moving. Bai backed away one tiny step, then another, then another. Soon he realized the end quote, monster end quote, kept following us everywhere. He sprinted behind the sofa. Only the tip of his nose peeked around the corner. Every few seconds, he leaned out to check whether the scary creature was still there. When it moved closer, he disappeared again. I laughed so hard that I almost forgot to finish cleaning. After a few minutes, curiosity slowly became stronger than fear. I peeked out once more. The monster was still making its loud buzzing sound. He cautiously walked forward. One tiny step. Pause. Another tiny step. Pause again. His nose twitched. His ears stayed flat. His eyes never blinked. Finally, he was close enough to sniff the vacuum cleaner. The machine suddenly rolled forward. End quote. Woof. End quote. Bai leaped backward so dramatically that he nearly did a little flip. If there had been an audience, they would have given him a standing ovation for the performance. Once the vacuum moved away, Bai gathered his courage again. This time, he brought one of his favorite toys, a small squeaky duck. He proudly dropped it in front of the vacuum cleaner. I stared in confusion. Was he trying to make friends with the monster? The vacuum, of course, ignored the peace offering completely. It continued cleaning the floor. Bai looked disappointed. Apparently, monsters don and oppose, like rubber ducks. Next, he tried another strategy. He circled around behind the vacuum cleaner, sneaking as quietly as a tiny detective. When he thought the monster wasn't oppose, paying attention, he gently tapped it with one paw. Nothing happened. He tapped again. Still nothing. Feeling much braver, Bai placed both paws on the side of the vacuum. At that exact moment, I turned slightly while cleaning. The vacuum moved. I gasped dramatically and dashed straight into the hallway like a tiny rocket. I laughed until tears rolled down my face. A few minutes later, I switched the vacuum off. Silence filled the room. I slowly returned. He walked around the now silent machine. Sniff, sniff, sniff. No growling, no buzzing, no movement. Interesting. He gently touched it with his nose. Still nothing. He looked at me, then at the vacuum, then back at me. It almost seemed like he was thinking. End quote. Wait, was the monster defeated? End quote. Instead of putting the vacuum away immediately, I sat beside it and gently called Bai over. End quote. Come here. End quote. He hesitated for a moment before slowly walking into my lap. I petted his fluffy head while letting him sniff every part of the machine. The wheels, the handle, the hose, the brush. Nothing attacked him. Nothing chased him. Nothing barked back. I turned the vacuum on for just 1 second before switching it off again. I flinched a little, but this time he didn't and Apos, T run away. Instead, he looked at me. Seeing that I remained calm, he slowly relaxed. We repeated this several times. Each time, the scary sound became a little less frightening. Soon, I was sitting only a few feet away while I vacuumed. He still watched the machine carefully, just in case it suddenly decided to become a monster again. But instead of barking, he simply followed me from room to room. Every now and then, he would sniff the air as if checking whether everything was still safe. When I finally finished cleaning, I unplugged the vacuum and put it back into the closet. I walked over. He sniffed the closed closet door. Then he wagged his tail. Victory. The monster had disappeared. Or maybe, it had never been a monster at all. To celebrate his bravery, I gave Bai his favorite treat. His tail wagged so fast that his whole body started wiggling. Within seconds, he forgot everything about the terrifying vacuum cleaner. 5 minutes later, he was chasing his squeaky duck across the living room as though nothing unusual had happened. Watching him made me smile. Dogs experience the world differently from us. Things that seem ordinary to people can feel mysterious, loud, or even frightening to them. Instead of expecting them to understand immediately, they need patience, kindness, and reassurance. That day reminded me that courage doesn't and Apos, T always mean never being afraid. Sometimes courage means taking one small step closer to something that scares you. By didn't and Apos, T become fearless in a single moment. He learned little by little that the end quote, monster end quote, wasn't and Apos, T dangerous because someone he trusted stayed beside him the whole time. The same lesson applies to our own lives. New jobs, new schools, difficult conversations, or unexpected challenges can all feel like noisy vacuum cleaners at first. We might want to hide behind the sofa just like Bai did. But when we face our fears one small step at a time, they often become much less frightening than we imagined. Now, every time I take out the vacuum cleaner, Bai still watches it carefully. He keeps one eye on the machine and one eye on me, just to be safe. But instead of barking wildly, he simply sighs, stretches, and waits patiently until cleaning is finished. And every cleaning day ends the same way, with a clean house, a happy dog, and another funny memory that reminds me why life with Bai is always full of laughter.